So yeah, again, this right over here is gonna be the expression that would represent how many toy boats per hour are being produced, okay? So it's simple enough for that. So now we're gonna figure out something about a unit price, okay? So again, that's the price for one item. So if 1.24 pounds of cheese costs $11.75, I wanna know how much 1 pound of cheese is gonna cost. So I'm gonna take that $11.25 that it is for 1.24 pounds and I'm gonna divide it, okay? So I'm gonna take that total price and divide it by the amount of pounds that it was, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and cheat off to the side and use my calculator. So give me 1 second. Actually, let me grab it, hold on. All right, so here we are. So I have my calculator, and I'm gonna do 11.25, and I'm gonna divide that by 1.24. So that's gonna give me a number, and I wonder if you guys can see. So right there, 9.07258, blah, 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 right? Now, how many decimal places do we go when we're dealing with money? Yep, if you said 2 decimal places, you're absolutely correct. So if I'm looking at this number here, I'm gonna look at the 9.07. I'm gonna look to the 2 if I need to round, don't need to. So that means that 1 pound is equal to $9.07, okay? So now let's go ahead and look at our constant of proportionalities. So remember that constant of proportionality had an equation for a graph or situation that can be written like this, where K is your constant of proportionality. But like we already said, that can also be our slope and our rate of change and rise over run. All of those wonderful numbers and unit rate as well can be represented by that K value, okay? So a student spends the same amount each week for a bus fare. In 5 weeks, he spends $115. What equation can show this relationship? So let's think about it. If in 5 weeks, he has spent $115, I want to know how much he's spending per week for bus fare, which means I'm going to take that 115 and divide it by 5. That's going to give me the weekly amount that he's spending in bus fare per week, okay? So again, we're going to go back to our lovely calculator, 115 divided by 5. That's going to give me 23. So that means that he spends $23 a week in bus fare. But if we remember correctly, they want to know what the equation would be that would represent this situation. So if 23 is my unit rate or my constant of proportionality, it's going to take the spot of that K value, which means that my equation would be written as y equals 23 times x, okay? Now, remember that this also goes for graphs, okay? So let's say that I have a graph, and I wish I could show you this graph, but we're just gonna make up our own. So I'm gonna make my x-axis, my y-axis. Now I'm gonna say this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is 2, 4, 6, and 8, okay? So I'm gonna put a dot right here. I'm gonna put a dot right about here, okay? So this tells me that for every x value, it's 2 y's, and for every 3 x values, it's 6 y's. So I want to know what that k value is. So remember, our equation is always written as this y equals k times x. But what if I want to solve for k? So that means that I want to get it by itself. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to divide both sides by x. So I have this k there by itself. So to solve for k, I can do y over x, just like that. So I'm going to take one of these values. So I'm going to take the 6 and the 3. So I'm going to input it there. I'm going to get k is equal to 6 over 3. And when I simplify that, I get 2. So that tells me that 2 is my constant of proportionality, or my slope, and again, or my unit rate, rate of change, whatever you want to call it, because we talked about this, that their names are interchangeable, okay? So that is the brief rundown of chapter 4. Now remember, if you have any questions about this, you can always hop onto our office hours from 9 to 9:15, okay? Every single morning I'm there for you, 9 to 9:15. Remember, I do have my office hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday by appointment only from 8 to 8:30. I'm sorry, that's every morning from 8 to 8:30 by appointment only. And then it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the evenings, 6 to 6:45 by appointment only, okay? So I look forward to seeing you guys in the office hours. Hope you have a wonderful long weekend, and I will talk to you guys on Monday. Bye.